Hey, welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. My name's Jeff Beers. Today I'm going to go over the stocks that I have been buying over the past month or so. It's actually been a while, mostly because heading into that sort of like Halloween election period, I just stopped buying because of all the different volatility factors that were going into the market, most notably the election and a lot of concerns about the transition and stuff like that. I decided to just hang on to my money and try to get to the inauguration. So I made a couple small moves at the end of the year that I'll talk about, and then I've been much more active here in January. Reminder, as always, in my stock picks and projections, they're just my opinion for your entertainment. Please make sure you do your own research before buying any stock. And if you like stock market analysis like this and other personal finance videos, then please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everyone for all the support. All right, on the sell side, it's pretty simple. I sold some shares of my Molson Coors TAP before the end of the year. Tried to do a little tax loss harvesting, if you will. My cost basis for TAP, and I've been holding it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, was somewhere in the neighborhood of 55. This is a 1-year chart, and you see sort of what happened. TAP had a little bit of a run-up on some good news and some product announcements, not to mention they also benefited from the sort of market upswing we saw after the election period. So right in that December 29th spot, I sold what works out to be my old shares. So again, it was the end of the year. I was looking for some opportunity to cut some losses and lower the tax burden for the year. So I sold some TAP shares at a loss. Old shares that I had paid $70, $80 for. And what's interesting is I bought some shares of TAP throughout 2020 here and there because it was a real dog after the pandemic. And so now my cost basis, since I unloaded those old shares, my cost basis is like $45. Stock's trading at $50. It is a dividend stock when they get back in gear with their dividends. So it's one that I'll probably hang on to, certainly at least for another year, so that I can get the long-term gains rate for it after holding it for 12 months. And that has to go through every share that I purchased back in 2020. All right, the only other purchase I made in December was 1 share of Amazon. That was back on 12/29. And we can see that Amazon was right in the neighborhood. I got it for like $2.96, I think was my cost basis. And that's the only share of Amazon that I own, but I'm really looking forward to Amazon this year. I probably could have added some more shares in this way, but you know, Amazon is a pretty expensive stock, so I have to choose wisely when I pick it up. It could be that I add another share sometime over the next couple weeks, and then I would probably be done. 2 or 3 shares of Amazon, putting me up close to $10,000 in that one, is probably all I'm going to do. And that would obviously be a sort of forever hold, if you will. I do expect Amazon, my price target is $3,800 to $4,000. So I do expect it to make great gains this year, and I think we all expect it to continue growing in the future. All right, next stock that I bought in January is Enphase Energy. I've talked a lot about this on the channel in different formats. Enphase Energy makes micro inverters and solar energy storage systems for residential homes. You can go back and watch some of my videos on Enphase Energy to learn more about them. But this is one of my long-term growth stocks that I've sort of pushed myself into. I've mentioned to some of you that I've refocused on longer growth stories for 2021 as a portion of my portfolio. And I kicked things off right away with Enphase. So it looks like I started my position at 214, and that price at 214 is sort of against all my normal principles. And sure enough, Enphase dropped, but I picked up several lots of Enphase. I bought 2 lots on January 15th. One of them was 198 and the other was actually 190. I don't know if that'll show up here. There's a 190. Then I bought again on the 26th, and it looks like that was for 194 and 187. And then finally I added another small lot on the 27th, which would have been somewhere in here. Looks like that price was 183. And ultimately with Enphase, if you get interested in owning a solar stock like this, I will say that the benefits are, you do have EPS, you do have a strong growth trajectory at this price with the PE well over 100. You do have to consider the risk that it might be flat for the short term, but I think we all know the environmental outlook for companies like this is very strong under the current president. So I took a chance and jumped in, and I am not expecting to sell this stock probably for 3 to 5 years. Will I add any more Enphase in the future? I can tell you that the position size that I have right now is about what I thought it would be, or what I expected to do. It sort of ranks in the second tier of stocks I hold as far as size. However, getting in so high at 214, my cost basis today is just under 195. So if we see more weakness in the market and it drops into 170s or something, I'd have to consider it to lower my cost basis and give me a brighter opportunity to make immediate gains. All right, next on the list is Square. And I only bought 2 lots of Square, kind of building my position there. Both of them were in the 213 and 214 range. You can see we're at 220 today. During the month, Square has been as high as, looks like 243. But of course, as soon as I got in, they instantly started declining and they hovered in that 200 range. I almost bought some more, but I got greedy and was waiting for it to go under 200. That never happened, and then you see the bounce back. We're in the 220s. All right, so my position on Square, the cost basis is a little over $214. Will I add more? That is the plan. So I really only bought 15 shares of Square. I never really got into a groove on that one, and I was balancing some other things that I was interested in. So I definitely would like to add more. I consider it to be an essential complement to my Visa and PayPal positions, which are my 2 sort of largest positions. Now, comparatively, Square does have the high growth rate, but if you look at it against Visa and PayPal from a valuation perspective and the price that you're paying, it's sort of hard to make the argument. So I would like to see Square come down. Like I mentioned, I was trying to get in under 200. Might have missed a nice opportunity there, but I will be building it up. It will not be as high as Visa and PayPal in my portfolio. But as I've talked about on live streams and stuff like that, I just think, Cash App is got a lot of potential. And frankly, I see with stimulus checks, we've also had some Robinhood dust-ups this year. I can see a lot of people moving to Cash App and Venmo, not only for stimulus checks and tax refunds like we've already seen in the past, but now with Robinhood sort of farting around, you could have people just say, you know what, I'm putting everything in Cash App, and that's just going to be my financial home, or Venmo for that matter. It wouldn't surprise me at all, and I think that's a huge win for Square. So I'll have to pick my spots to manage the cost basis on this one. And of course, they have an earnings coming up here soon, so I'll be watching that very diligently. All right, next on the list is a SPAC that I've talked about before. This is BFT. It will eventually become PaySafe. And PaySafe is one of the leading payment platforms for sports gambling, not only in Europe, but in Canada, and adding new names to the United States list as well, most notably DraftKings. And DraftKings is a core position of mine. So it's hard for me to value SPACs, and it's hard for me to get super excited about them, especially in today's market. but I know that on this particular one, because it partners so close to DraftKings, I wanted to take a chance on it. I bought 100 shares at $14.98. Looks like that was back on January 7th. And you can see, you know, price today, $15.43. They do not have the announcement yet on when the ticker symbol will change, when the transition officially happens. And I expect it to go up in the short term from there. But, you know, you look at the stats, you're really playing with fire on something like this, but you know, on the same token, the rewards could be great. All right, looking ahead on BFT, I'm interested in adding some more. Anywhere under $15 is about the best that I'll do on that one. And that's about the resistance that you're seeing on BFT. I think it's a mystery box. It really is. I would probably buy another 100 shares. That gives me 200 total. Put it in a little corner of the room. If DraftKings goes up, BFT is going to go up, or excuse me, PaySafe will be going up in the future. So I feel good about that part of it. There is a video that I did that kind of reviewed PaySafe. So take a look for that video. I think it's under BFT or PaySafe, something like that. It's very intriguing, but it's not a rocket ship to the moon. I mean, it's not going to, 10x this year. I'm certainly not expecting that. But it plays very well inside my portfolio. All right, last one on the board is Sabre Corporation. And this is sort of an out of nowhere stock that I bought. And this is a rebound play. I've mentioned it on the live streams before. If we click on a 5-year chart, I guess we don't even really need that, do we? Here's a 1-year chart. Here's right before the pandemic. Sabre was at $22. They dipped as low as under $4. I didn't get into it until the $11 mark. Looking at my notes here, I just bought it all at once. So bought 100 shares at $11.15. So I'm going to do a deep dive on Sabre video here coming up soon. But the short version is they're just a gigantic travel booking platform used by a ton of travel providers. Think airlines, hotels, online travel, like Expedia and whatnot. So it's a very compelling case. It's not a growth case, though. It is a rebound case. And they have a high level of debt. So I'm just going to call that out now. It's not the kind of stock that's going to change your life, but I think it has a ton of opportunity. Not only like almost guaranteed 50% win, I would say, over the next year. And I think it has a good shot to get back to par if we look even a little bit further out, and that would of course be 100% win on my investment for this. Will I buy any more of Sabre over the coming weeks? I consider it very close to BFT. If the price were to go, anywhere close to $10 or perhaps under it on a red day, then I'd be there to scoop up some shares. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are all the stocks that I've bought over the past 30 days or so. I am going to be setting up a watch list and some other different things where you can see the positions I'm in and the stocks that I'm watching. All of that I'll of course tell you on the videos, but it'll be integrated into the email that I'm getting ready to set up here, the email subscription, which is free, by the way, no charge. So make sure you look in the description for an opportunity to sign up for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and subscribe if you did. We'll see you on the next video.